Get out of my house!" My sister-in-law screamed it from the porch, loud enough the neighbors heard. My suitcase hit the driveway. Clothes spilled across the concrete. I stood there, watched her face twist with that satisfied smile. Then I reached into my jacket, pulled out one envelope. Her smile died. What she didn't know was I'd been planning this moment for 6 months. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. My name is Walter. I'm 72 years old. I've been living in what my sister-in-law calls her house for the past 3 years. Ever since my wife Margaret died and my son David convinced me to sell my place and move in with them. "It's temporary, Dad," he'd said, "just until you figure out what's next." That was October 2020. By March 2021, I'd given them $140,000 from the sale of my house. For renovations, David said, to add the mother-in-law suite, make it comfortable for me. The renovations never happened. The morning it ended, I was drinking coffee in the kitchen. Same kitchen where I'd made breakfast every Sunday for 3 years. Eggs and bacon for David's kids, my grandchildren. Emma was 7, Lucas was 5. Karen walked in. That's my sister-in-law. Didn't say good morning, just stood there with her arms crossed. "We need to talk about your situation," she said. I set down my coffee. "What situation?" "This." She gestured around the kitchen. "You living here. It's not working anymore." David and I agreed. "David agrees with whatever I tell him to agree with." She said it flat, matter of fact. "And I'm telling you, it's time to go." "Go where?" "That's not my problem." She opened the refrigerator, pulled out orange juice, poured herself a glass. "We need the space. Emma needs her own room. She's getting older. It's weird having her grandfather sleeping down the hall." I'd been sleeping in what used to be David's office, fold-out couch, my clothes in boxes in the garage because there wasn't closet space. "I gave you money for the addition," I said. "That was an investment in the property. You'll get it back when we sell." "When you sell?" "When David and I sell. This is our house, Walter, not yours." She drank her juice, set the glass in the sink without rinsing it. "I'm giving you 2 weeks. Find an apartment. There are plenty of senior living places around here." She walked out. I sat there, coffee going cold in front of me, clock ticking on the wall, same clock that had been in my kitchen, the kitchen I'd sold along with everything else. David came home around 6, works in tech, makes good money. Or he did before Karen started managing their finances. "Dad," he wouldn't look at me. "Karen told me you guys talked. She told me to leave. She thinks it would be better for everyone. The kids need more space. The kids I've been watching every day after school for 3 years. We appreciate that, we do, but... "What?" He finally looked up. "You're not getting any younger, Dad. We're worried about you. Maybe it's time you were somewhere with, support. Medical staff, activities. I'm 72, not 90. Mom died when she was 68. He said it quiet. Like that explained everything. Like my wife's cancer was somehow a preview of my own decline. "I'm healthy," I said. For now. Karen had appeared in the doorway. "But what happens when you're not? We can't take care of you and the kids. It's too much. I'm not asking you to take care of me. You're living in our house rent-free." The coffee I'd been holding that morning flashed through my mind. Cold, forgotten. I'd made breakfast for her kids every Sunday for 3 years. Made dinner 4 nights a week when she worked late. Watched them every time she wanted date night with David. I gave you $140,000, I said, for renovations. We've been over this. Show me the renovations. Excuse me? Show me where you spent my money. Karen's face went red. We don't owe you an accounting. This is our house, our finances. You invested in property value. I invested in a place to live. Well, now you need to find another place. She turned to David. Tell him. David looked at his shoes. I think it's for the best, Dad. I stood up, walked past both of them, went to my room, the office, the fold-out couch where I'd been sleeping for 3 years. That was Thursday. Friday morning I started packing, slowly, taking my time, thinking. Karen walked past my room 3 times, never came in, just looked, making sure I was complying. Saturday afternoon she knocked. How's the packing going? Almost done. Good, because my brother is coming next weekend. He's going to stay in here while he looks for work. Her brother. Kyle, 29 years old, hasn't held a job longer than 6 months, but he was getting my room. Where am I supposed to go? I asked. That's not my concern. You've had 3 years of free housing. That's more than generous. Free housing. I'd given them $140,000, made breakfast 500 times, watched the kids 47 afternoons last year alone, counted them. Every time Karen texted saying she'd be home late, every time David had a work emergency. I need more time, I said. You've had 3 years. 2 more weeks. No. She stepped into the room. I want you out by Monday. That gives Kyle time to move in before he starts his job search. Monday is 2 days away. Then you'd better hurry. She walked out. I sat on the fold-out couch, hands on my knees, breathing steady. That night, David knocked on my door. Dad, I'm sorry about Karen. She's just stressed. The kids are expensive. Work has been... How much did you spend on renovations? I asked. What? The $140,000 I gave you. For the addition. The mother-in-law suite. Where did it go? He looked at the ceiling. The floor. Anywhere but at me. We had some debts. Credit cards. The renovation costs more than we thought. We're waiting until... You spent my money on credit cards. We were going to pay it back. When? When we sell the house, Dad, I promise you'll get it back, with interest. When you sell the house I'm being evicted from. You're not being evicted. You're just... It's time to find your own place. I looked at my son, 43 years old, wearing a zip-up hoodie that probably cost $200, carrying a phone that was newer than mine. Get out, I said. Dad, get out of my room. He left. Sunday morning I packed the last of my things. 2 suitcases, 3 boxes, everything I'd brought when I moved in, everything that was left after selling a 4-bedroom house I'd lived in for 38 years. Karen was making pancakes when I came into the kitchen. Emma and Lucas were at the table. Grandpa! Emma ran over, hugged my waist. Are you making bacon? Not today, sweetheart. Why not? Karen turned from the stove. Grandpa's leaving today, Emma. Go sit down. Leaving? Lucas's face crumpled. Where? To his own place, Karen said. Now eat your pancakes. I looked at the kids. Emma's face was confused. Lucas was starting to cry. I'll see you soon, I said. No, you won't, Karen said. Not for a while. We need space to adjust. You understand? I understood. I carried my suitcases to the front door. David appeared from the garage. "I'll help you load your car," he said. "I've got it." "Dad, don't be like this." "Like what?" "Difficult. We're trying to help you transition. Karen found some really nice senior communities. I can send you links." I set down the suitcases. "When your mother was dying, where was Karen?" "What?" "When Margaret was in hospice, when she had 6 weeks left. Where was your wife?" David's face went tight. She was dealing with the kids. It was hard for her. "She visited twice. Once for 20 minutes. Once for an hour. She doesn't do well with hospitals." "You know who does well with hospitals? Nobody. You do it anyway." I picked up the suitcases. "Dad, this isn't about Mom. Everything is about your mother. She's the one who taught you what family means, what loyalty looks like. She'd be ashamed of you right now." His face went white. "That's not fair. Neither is this." I opened the front door. Karen appeared at the top of the stairs. "Finally. I was starting to think you'd refuse to leave and I'd have to call the police." "The police. For trespassing. This is private property." I set down the suitcases again, reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out an envelope. "What's that?" Karen came down the stairs. "Open it." She grabbed it, ripped it open, read for 10 seconds. Her face went from curious to confused to pale. "What is this?" "An eviction notice." "For who?" "For you." David stepped forward. "What are you talking about?" "The house you're standing in," I said. "The one you're evicting me from." "I own it." "No, you don't. It's in our name." "Check again." Karen was reading the document. Her hands were shaking. This says the property was transferred to Walter Chen." "Walter Brennan?" I corrected. "As of 6 months ago. This is fake. Call the county recorder's office. They're closed on Sunday, but you can try tomorrow." David grabbed the paper from Karen. "Read it." "I don't understand. This house is ours. We bought it in 2018. With a mortgage I'm guessing you're 3 months behind on." His face confirmed it. "I paid off your mortgage 6 months ago," I said. "February 15th, $340,000. The bank transferred the title to me as part of the payoff. You signed the papers." "I signed refinance papers. You signed whatever Karen told you to sign." Karen's face was bright red now. "This is fraud. You tricked us." "I paid your debt. That's not fraud. That's generosity. The house is ours. The house is mine. Has been for 6 months. I've been paying the property taxes, the insurance, everything." David was staring at the paper. "Why didn't you tell us?" "Because I wanted to see how long it would take, how far you'd go." I looked at Karen. "Turns out pretty far." "You can't evict us," Karen said. "We have kids. This is our home. I gave you $140,000 3 years ago. You said it was for renovations, for a place for me to live. Where did that money go? That's none of your business." "It's exactly my business. That's $140,000 of my money, plus the $340,000 for the mortgage. I put nearly $500,000 into this property. You'll get it back when we sell." "I'm not selling. This is my house now." David set down the paper. His hands were shaking. "Dad, you can't do this." "I already did. 6 months ago. I've been paying rent to live in my own house while you decided when to kick me out." "We weren't kicking you out. We were helping you transition." "By throwing my suitcase in the driveway?" David's head snapped to Karen. You did what? I told him he had to leave by today. He was being slow. I put his stuff outside to motivate him. You threw his things in the driveway? It's our house. It's his house. David's voice cracked. Jesus Christ, Karen, what did you do? What I had to do. He was never going to leave on his own. I watched them. Karen, furious. David, pale and shaking. In the background, I could hear Emma asking Lucas why everyone was yelling. You have 60 days, I said. 60 days for what? To find another place. That's the legal requirement for eviction in this state. 60 days notice. I'm giving you that notice now. We can't find a place in 60 days. You were giving me 2. Karen stepped forward, got right in my face. You're a bastard, you know that? A manipulative, selfish bastard. I'm the man who paid for this house while you spent my money on credit cards. We needed that money. For what? The BMW in the driveway? The vacation to Hawaii last Christmas that I wasn't invited to? She didn't answer. You told Emma it was weird having me down the hall, I said. You told David I was too old to be trusted around the kids. You've spent 3 years making me feel like a burden in my own house. Because you are a burden. Karen, David's voice was quiet. Stop talking. Why? He's the one who... Stop talking. She stopped. David turned to me. What do you want? I want you to pack your things and leave in 60 days. And then what? We're homeless? You're employed. Your wife is employed. You'll figure it out. Dad, please. The kids. Emma and Lucas. You'd put them on the street? You were putting me on the street. That's different. How? He didn't have an answer. I picked up my suitcases, started loading them into my car. David followed me. Where are you going? Home. This is your home. Not while you're in it. I closed the trunk. I'll be staying at a hotel. When you're out, let me know. I'll move back in. You're serious about this? Completely. We can't afford another place, not in this area. Rent is... I don't care. He stared at me. You've changed. No. I just stopped letting you walk on me. I got in my car. Karen came running out, barefoot, hair wild. You can't do this. I'll fight you. I'll get a lawyer. I already have a lawyer. Her name is Patricia Mills. She specializes in real estate. She's very good. I'll sue you for fraud. For paying your mortgage? Good luck. I started the engine. David knocked on my window. I rolled it down. Dad, please, can we talk about this? We just did. No, I mean really talk, without Karen. Just you and me. I looked at him. My son. The kid I'd taught to ride a bike, helped with homework, paid for college. You chose her over me, I said. That's not fair. You chose her every time, every decision, every conflict. You took her side. She's my wife. And I'm your father, the one who gave you $140,000, who moved in here because you said it was temporary, who spent 3 years watching your kids while you worked and she spent my money. We'll pay you back. With what? You're 3 months behind on a mortgage I paid off. You've got credit card debt. You're broke. His face crumpled. We're trying. It's hard. The kids are expensive. Childcare costs. I was free childcare. I know. And you're kicking me out. Karen thinks... I don't care what Karen thinks. I put the car in reverse. 60 days. After that, I'm changing the locks. I backed out of the driveway. Last thing I saw was David standing there, hands in his pockets. Karen on the porch, screaming something I couldn't hear through the closed window. I drove 3 blocks, pulled over, sat there with the engine running. My hands were shaking. 3 years. I'd given them 3 years. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, started scrolling. $140,000 on October 12th, 2020. Wire transfer for renovations that never happened. $340,000 on February 15th, 2024. Mortgage payoff. But that wasn't all. I scrolled further. $200 on November 3rd, 2020. Emergency car repair. $3,500 on December 18th, 2020. Christmas presents. The kids deserve a good Christmas, Dad. $800 on January 22nd, 2021. Unexpected medical bills. $1,500 on March 8th, 2021. Temporary help with credit card payment. $3,000 on May 15th, 2021. Final assistance with debt consolidation. $2,200 on July 4th, 2021. Family vacation. The kids haven't been anywhere in years. The transfers blurred together. Months became years. Every time David called, I knew what was coming. Dad, I hate to ask, but... And every time, I'd said yes. By December 2023, I'd stopped counting. Just transferred money whenever they asked. Told myself it was helping. That I was being a good father, a good grandfather. $547,000. That's how much I'd given them in 3 years. Not just the house money. Not just the mortgage. The transfers. The emergencies. The credit cards I'd paid off twice. More than $500,000. I'd sold my house for $290,000. That was after the market crash. Before Margaret died, it was worth $340,000. But cancer is expensive, even with insurance. We'd refinanced twice to pay for treatments, so I'd sold at $290,000. Given David $140,000 of it, kept $150,000 for myself. That $150,000 was supposed to last me the rest of my life. Instead, I'd spent it on their emergencies, their debts, their lifestyle. By February 2024, I had $67,000 left. Not enough to buy another house. Not enough to retire on. So, I'd done something I never told them about. I'd called my brother. James lives in Phoenix. Made his money in real estate in the 90s. Has more than he needs. "Walter," he'd said when I called. "Long time." We hadn't talked in 2 years. Not since Margaret's funeral, when he'd tried to warn me about David. "Your kid's going to bleed you dry," James had said. "I've seen it before. Successful parents, entitled kids, they think your money is their inheritance. They're just collecting early." I'd hung up on him, but in February I called back. "I need to borrow money," I said. "How much?" $340,000. Silence on the line. "That's specific," James said. "It's what they owe on the house." "David's house?" "Yes." "Let me guess. He's behind on payments." 3 months. "And he's asked you to help?" "No. He doesn't know I know." More silence. "What are you planning?" James asked. I told him. He laughed. That's cold, Walter. I didn't think you had it in you. Neither did I. I'll wire you the money tomorrow, but I want it in writing. This is a loan. 15-year term, 3% interest. That's more than fair. I'm doing this because they deserve it, not because I'm feeling charitable. The money came through the next day. I paid off David's mortgage. The bank transferred the title to my name as part of the payoff agreement. David signed the papers without reading them, just like I knew he would. Karen had been standing next to him, smiling, relieved. Thank God, she'd said. This refinance is going to save us so much money. That was 6 months ago. For 6 months, I'd lived in that house, paid the property taxes, the insurance, fixed the leaking faucet in the guest bathroom, replaced the water heater when it died in April. Never said a word about owning it. Waited to see how they'd treat me, how long it would take before Karen showed her true colors. Turned out, not long at all. I pulled back into traffic, drove to a hotel I'd already booked. Extended stay, 2 rooms, full kitchen, checked in, sat on the bed, called James. How'd it go? He asked. She threw my suitcase in the driveway. Jesus. I gave her the eviction notice. And they have 60 days. James laughed. Cold as hell, Walter. I'm proud of you. I don't feel good about it. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel right about it. There's a difference. He was right. That night, I lay in the hotel bed, stared at the ceiling, thought about Margaret. She'd loved David fiercely, defended him even when he'd screwed up, even when he'd dropped out of college the first time, even when he'd married Karen after knowing her 6 months. He'll figure it out, Margaret always said. He just needs time. But she'd also said something else, near the end. When the cancer had spread, and we both knew there wasn't much time left. Don't let them take advantage of you, she'd whispered. David's a good kid. But Karen, watch out for Karen. I'd squeezed her hand. I will. Promise me. I promise. She'd died 3 days later. October 8th, 2020. David and Karen had shown up the night she died, stayed for an hour, then left because the kids needed dinner. My wife died at 11:47 p.m. I was alone, holding her hand. David texted me the next morning. Sorry we couldn't be there at the end. It was past the kids' bedtime. I'd sold my house a week later, moved in with David and Karen a month after that. For 3 years, I'd kept my promise to Margaret, watched out for Karen, saw what she was doing, how she spent money, how she treated David, how she talked about me when she thought I couldn't hear. He's going to live forever, she told her sister on the phone once. Just hanging around, using up space. I'd been in the garage, organizing tools, heard every word through the thin walls. Can't you get rid of him? Her sister had asked. David won't let me. He's got this guilt thing about his mom. So wait for him to die naturally. Could be 20 years. I'm not waiting that long. I'd stood there in the garage, hands tight on a wrench, breathing slow. That's when I'd decided not to get revenge, not to punish them, just to stop being a doormat, to take back what was mine. Monday morning, my phone started ringing at 6:45 a.m. David. I let it go to voicemail, called again at 7 o'clock a.m. Voicemail. 7:15 a.m. I answered. What? Dad, we need to talk. We talked yesterday. Karen's hysterical. She's been crying all night. The kids are scared. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate? Dad, you're destroying our family. I'm enforcing property rights. It's our home. No, it's my home. You've been living in it. Now you're leaving. Where are we supposed to go? I don't know. Figure it out. Dad, please, I'm begging you. Give us more time. 6 months, a year. We'll save money. Find a place. You've had 3 years to save money. We were paying a mortgage. That I paid off. We didn't ask you to do that. You were 3 months behind. The bank was starting foreclosure proceedings. I saved your house. Then it's still ours. No, it's mine. You lost it when you stopped making payments. Silence on the line. I can't believe you'd do this, David said finally. Mom would be ashamed. Your mother made me promise not to let Karen take advantage of me. What? Before she died, her last words to me. Watch out for Karen. That's not true. Ask your Aunt Linda. She was there. More silence. 60 days, I said. That's generous. More generous than the 2 days Karen gave me. I hung up. Tuesday morning, James called. You're famous, he said. What? Check Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. Get on it. Karen's post is going viral. I borrowed a laptop from the hotel business center, created a Facebook account, searched for Karen's name, found the post. It was 6 paragraphs long, posted Monday night. My heart is broken. My family is being torn apart by greed and cruelty. It got worse from there. According to Karen's version, I was a senile old man who'd manipulated David into signing over his house, who'd been verbally abusive to her and the children, who'd refused to contribute financially despite living rent-free for 3 years. Now, he's evicting us, throwing his own grandchildren onto the street because we dared to suggest he might be happier in a facility with people his own age. 347 comments. 892 shares. Most of the comments were supportive of Karen. What a horrible man. Those poor children. Elder abuse goes both ways. Someone should report him. But some were skeptical. Why was the house in his name if it was yours? Something doesn't add up here. 6 months ago you posted about your amazing father-in-law. Now he's abusive? Which is it? I screenshotted that last one. Wednesday morning a woman knocked on my hotel room door. I opened it. She was about 50. Professional clothes, serious expression. Mr. Brennan? Yes. I'm Linda Shaw, Adult Protective Services. We received a complaint about your welfare. From whom? I'm not at liberty to say. May I come in? I let her in. She looked around the hotel room. 2 rooms. Clean. Well-maintained. You're living here? She asked. Temporarily. The complaint suggested you were being financially exploited by family members. I almost laughed. Really? Yes. They expressed concern that you might be confused or unable to manage your affairs. I'm not confused. The complainant mentioned you recently signed over property under questionable circumstances. I didn't sign over anything. I bought property. They said you evicted your own family. I evicted tenants who weren't paying rent. She pulled out a tablet, started asking questions. My date of birth, social security number, current medications, when I'd last seen a doctor. I'm going to ask you some cognitive questions, she said. Just routine. What's today's date? Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Who's the current president? I told her. Can you count backward from 100 by sevens? I did. She asked me to remember 3 words, then asked me other questions, then asked me to recall the 3 words. I got them all. Mr. Brennan, you seem perfectly competent to me. I am. Can you explain the situation with your family? I told her. Everything. The $547,000, the mortgage payoff, the eviction notice. She took notes. Do you have documentation? I pulled out my folder. Bank statements, title deed, eviction notice, everything. She reviewed it for 20 minutes. This is a civil matter, she said finally. Not an APS case. You're clearly competent. You have documentation of all transactions. The eviction is legal. That's what my lawyer said. I'll file a report stating there's no cause for concern. The complaint will be closed. Who filed it? She hesitated. Your daughter-in-law? Of course she did. She seemed genuinely concerned. She seemed genuinely angry that her plan didn't work. Linda Shaw smiled, just a little. Off the record, I see a lot of elder financial abuse. This isn't it. This is a man protecting his assets from people who were taking advantage. Thank you. She left. I called my lawyer. Patricia, Karen filed an APS complaint. Of course she did. What happened? I told her. Perfect, Patricia said. That actually helps us. Shows she's willing to make false claims. If she tries to fight the eviction, we can use that. You think she'll fight? Definitely. She's already hiring a lawyer. Got a letter this morning. Saying what? That the property transfer was fraudulent, that you coerced David into signing, that you're mentally incompetent. The APS investigator just cleared me. I know. That's why this is going to be easy. Thursday, David showed up at the hotel. I was in the lobby, getting coffee. Looked up and saw him standing there. How'd you find me? I asked. I called every hotel in town. That's dedication. Dad, please, can we talk? I looked at him. Really looked. He'd lost weight, face drawn, eyes red. 5 minutes, I said. We sat in the lobby, 2 chairs by the window. Karen's out of control, he said. The Facebook post, the APS complaint, she's hiring a lawyer. I know. I didn't want any of this. Then stop it. I can't. She's angry. She thinks you betrayed us. I paid your debts. She thinks you stole our house. I bought your house. There's a difference. He put his head in his hands. I don't know what to do. Move out. Find an apartment. Start over. We can't afford it. Not in this market. Rent for a 3-bedroom is $3,500 a month. So find something smaller. The kids need their own rooms. The kids need stability, which they won't have if you're homeless. We won't be homeless. Karen's parents said we could stay with them. In Florida. Yes. So you're leaving the state. Temporarily, until we get back on our feet. I sipped my coffee. When? 2 weeks. Karen already gave notice at work. And you? I'm looking for remote positions. Something I can do from Florida. What about Emma and Lucas? They'll transfer schools. In the middle of the year. It's not ideal, but we don't have a choice. You have a choice. You're choosing Karen's plan. What else am I supposed to do? Stay. Pay me rent. Live in the house. He looked up. What? Pay me rent. Market rate. $3,500 a month. I'll draw up a lease. You stay. You do that? If you pay. On time. Every month. No excuses. And Karen? She follows the rules. No more complaints. No more lawyers. No more Facebook posts. David stared at me. She won't agree. Then you have a decision to make. Between you and her. Between being a man and being a doormat. His face flushed red. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, but it's honest. I stood up. 60 days, I said. Either you're paying rent or you're gone. I walked back to my room. Saturday morning, Patricia called. They dropped the lawyer. What? Karen's attorney sent me a letter. They're withdrawing their challenge. No counterclaim, they're moving out. Just like that? Just like that. My guess is the lawyer saw the documentation and told them they had no case. When are they leaving? Letter says March 28th. That's 2 weeks early. I felt something in my chest. Not victory, not satisfaction. Relief. So it's over, I said. Not quite. I'd recommend a walkthrough when they leave. Document the condition of the property. Take photos, in case they damage anything out of spite. You think they would? I've seen worse. March 28th. I drove to the house. David's car was in the driveway. A U-Haul parked on the street. I knocked. David answered. Hey, Dad. Can I come in? He stepped aside. The house was mostly empty. Furniture gone. Boxes stacked in the living room. Karen was in the kitchen, packing dishes. She looked up when I walked in, didn't say anything, just stared. Where are the kids? I asked. At my mom's, David said. Already flew out yesterday. Florida? Yes. I walked through the house, checked each room. They'd been careful. No damage, no holes in walls, everything clean. In David's old office, my room, the fold-out couch was still there. You're leaving this? I asked. It came with the house, David said. Figured you'd want it back. I sat on it. Same couch I'd slept on for 3 years. David stood in the doorway. I'm sorry, he said. I looked up. For what? For all of it. For Karen. For the money. For not standing up for you. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say? I don't know. That you forgive me. I thought about it. About Margaret. About $547,000. About 3 years on a fold-out couch. About my son choosing his wife over his father. Every single time. I don't forgive you, I said. Not yet. Maybe someday, but not today. His face crumpled. Dad, but I don't hate you either. You're my son. That doesn't change. Then what do we do? You go to Florida, start over, figure out your life. And us? We'll see. Karen appeared in the doorway. We need to go. U-Haul is on the clock. David looked at her, then at me. I'll call you, he said. Okay. He walked out. Karen stayed. I hope you're happy, she said. I'm not. Good. Because you destroyed us. No, I stopped enabling you. Same thing. Not even close. She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. You'll die alone, she said. No one to take care of you. No family. Just you and your precious house. Maybe, but it'll be my house, not yours. She left. I sat on the fold-out couch, listened to the U-Haul engine start, listened to it drive away, sat there until the sound faded. Then I stood up, walked through the house. My house. Every room empty. Quiet. I pulled out my phone, called James. It's done, I said. How do you feel? Tired. That's normal. Is it? You just fought a war, Walter, against your own kid. That takes everything you've got. Yeah. So what now? I looked around the empty living room. Now I figure out what's next. Need help moving back in? Maybe. I can fly out this weekend, help you get settled. Thanks, James. That's what brothers are for. I hung up, walked to the kitchen window, looked out at the backyard. Grass needed mowing. Garden was overgrown. Fence needed repair. Work to do. Always work to do. I pulled out my folder, the one with all the bank statements, all the transfers, all the evidence, stared at it for a long time. Then I threw it in the trash. Didn't need it anymore. I walked to the front door, locked it. My house, my rules, my life. For the first time in 3 years, I felt like I could breathe. If you like this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.